If you look at Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
She has tremendous hate in her heart.
Wouldn't that be embarrassing to lose to crooked Hillary Clinton? That would be terrible.
Is there anybody you'd like to apologize to right now yourself?
No.
No?
I mean, you're watching this impeachment thing. Okay, today was better than Wednesday. The first day was a little rough. Today we had Maria Yovanovitch backing her for surfing in one of the most dangerous spots in the world. Most dangerous spot he's ever been in is a sand trap.
So I spent a long time this morning on making my shoes so beautiful, so shiny.
I see too many analogies on TV to Watergate impeachment hearings. This is very different. Watergate, Nixon said, I am not a crook. Trump says, I'm a crook, so what? That's a very different situation we're in. They have no real defense on the facts. Their defense is, stop picking on the poor guy. Poor Donald Trump. He was born rich. He doesn't pay taxes. He dodged the draft. He got to be president in an election he lost. When is he going to catch a break?
I think I would probably get along very well with Putin. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000...
It's his defense. What about all the times I called someone and didn't commit a crime? This would be like Bill Clinton having the defense, I'd like to enter in evidence this photograph of Monica Lewinsky not blowing me. Roger Stone got convicted today. There he is. There he is as the Penguin. That's right. Roger Stone, you know him as Trump's albino assassin, and he was Trump's political Svengali for 30 years, and he is the latest convicted felon to join the Trump crime family in prison. And besides being an admitted dirty trickster, Roger Stone, you know about Roger Stone? Kinky. In fact, when he heard the verdict, he was already in handcuffs.
That's a famous Mussolini quote. You retweeted it. Do you like the quote? Did you know it was Mussolini?
It's okay to know it's Mussolini. Look, Mussolini was Mussolini. It's okay to. It's a very good quote. It's a very interesting quote.
Is Trump strong? Huh?
He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.
So desperate. It's like one of those desperate husbands. Honey, I can change. We'll take a trip. His rallies by playing YMCA. I'm not kidding. A gay anthem about hooking up at the Y. It tells me two things. Trump doesn't know what the song is about, and Lindsey Graham is in charge of the music. That's what this tells me. Flies have stopped landing on Mike Pence. Oh, they asked Kimmel about that this week. She said she did notice during the debate that the fly landed on him. But she said it was very confusing because during debate prep, they told her, if you want to make Mike Pence nervous, stare at his fly. Let's see, what else is in the news? Biden won the election. Not that we're taking sides. I just wanted to report that. No matter who you voted for, we can all be proud that we live in the third most democratic country in North America. But, you know, elections in America, they're a lot like losing your virginity when you're a lesbian. You know, between the late ballots and the recounts and the lawsuits and the Electoral College, it's hard to actually know when you're finished. Of course, until all the ballots are counted, President Trump is telling everyone to stay calm and classy and respect the process. Of course he's not. He's throwing a tantrum like the 2-ton whiny little bitch he is.
It's a rigged system. The system is totally rigged and broken.
This system is rigged.
We're competing in a rigged election. This is a rigged election.
During the week while they're counting in all these different states that are still out, Trump's goons were outside the counting center saying, stop the count in Pennsylvania and count the vote in Arizona. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Not now. Trump's whole thing is like, I've seen some pretty low things, some pretty low tricks by the Democrats, but counting all the ballots, that is a bridge too far. Of course he's saying it's a fraud and a hoax, and he's suing. He's been telling us he's going to do that for a year. I've been telling you for 3. And yet the media is perpetually shocked by this. They're like the announcer at a wrestling match. Oh my God, he's going to hit him with a folding chair. Yeah, it happens all the time.
And then that's good. We're going to bring them over directly to this one.
All right.
Very good.
Grab one while it's really hot. Great in 2016. A lot of people don't know. We did much better in 2020. We won. We won. We did win. It was a rigged election. It was a rigged election. I'll tell you what's possible, because they cheat. That's the only way we're going to lose, because...
But look, let's be gracious in victory. I just want to say, Mr. Trump, if you are watching, as you do sometimes accidentally, you may have lost the election, but there's one thing that you will always have, and that's the knowledge that your father never loved you and your mother had sex with an ape. Which we did. We did, and yes, ding dong, the whiny little bitch is dead. Celebration is in order. We took a big step towards saving democracy, and in the process lost 280 pounds of ugly fat. Liberals can either write off half the country as irredeemable, or they can ask, what is it about a D next to a candidate's name that makes it so toxic? Miguel Spanberger said after the election, if we are classifying Tuesday as a success, we will get fucking torn apart in 2022. She was urging members not to talk about defunding the police. Connor Lamb says Democratic rhetoric needs to be dialed back. It needs to be rooted in common sense. Thank you. Thank you. There, in my opinion, is the crux of the problem. Democrats too often don't come across as having common sense to a huge swath of Americans. And these are people who believe in QAnon. An old man was trying to show support in his old man way. She said she was embarrassed, shocked, confused. Well, then the outside world isn't for you. And Democrats kept saying in the campaign, you can't possibly think Trump is preferable to what we're selling. And many voters keep saying, yes, we can. It would be so easy to win elections if we would just drop this shit. Democrats need to listen to our new president-elect's old boss.
This idea of purity and you're never compromised and you're always politically woke and all that stuff, you should get over that quickly.
Quickly, like before they vote in Georgia. You had to do to get in here. It is our last show of the season, and it has been 17 days now since the election. Trump is still behaving like a psycho beauty pageant queen who will not let go of the tiara. You know what? I'm going to be referring to this period in history, because we need a name for this, as the fuckening. The fuckening. We had the Great Recession, and then we had an economic expansion, and this is the fuck. Oh, and the president. Oh, I tell you, he's in the holiday spirit. Yeah, he had a screening last night of his favorite holiday movie, How the Grinch Stole Pennsylvania. Did you see what Team Lunatic was? Was putting forward this week? Rudy Giuliani was out there. He's having quite a third act. But he's not looking for his dick in his pants. He's out there. He's out there as Trump's lead lawyer, because all the regular lawyers have quit. And he's got a new theory about who fixed the election: Venezuela. Venezuela. Apparently, he says Dominion, that's the voting machine company. They're actually out of Canada. But he says they're owned by another company, which is funded by a Venezuelan associate of Hugo Chavez, who is dead. At this point, MSNBC just cut away to a cuckoo clock. This was like... And... Wait, that's not all. Spain. Spain is involved. Yes, Venezuela, they make the machines. That zombie Hugo Chavez, he makes that. But then The votes got sent, he says, to Barcelona, Spain, where they were fixed for Biden and then sent back to the U.S. At this point, Rudy just kneeled down like James Brown, and two handlers came out and put a straitjacket on him. It was... The judge said, order in the court, and Rudy said, Tanqueray and tonic, please. And then things got weird. I'm going to show you a picture now, but warning, the following may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is what happens. This is what happens when Dracula gets out of the coffin too early in the day. I mean, that's his hair dye. You know, the Trump people are always saying these colors don't run. Sometimes they do. Apparently they do sometimes. Even Jeffrey Toobin was like, God, that's embarrassing. I don't see him leaving willingly. I don't see him leaving. He is not going to leave. Oh, I'm the guy who says he's not leaving. He's not going to leave even if he loses. I don't think he's leaving. He's not going to leave. He's not leaving. I don't think he's leaving. I'm right, and you won't leave. But he's not leaving. He's not going to leave. He's not leaving. He's not going. He had a good run. I know that's not really a rule, but since everything in America is about to change in a very fundamental way, what the fuck? Rules are about to go out the window. Tuesday is Election Day. Yes, you should vote. It's also a waste of breath because anyone who believes that is already voting, and anyone who needs to learn that isn't watching, and no one in America can be persuaded of anything anymore anyway. The January 6th hearings, it turns out, changed nobody's mind. Democrat Jamie Raskin said the hearings would tell a story that will really blow the roof off the House. No, that was Hurricane Ian. The hearings, roof not blown. The committee did a masterful job laying out the case, but we live in partisan America now. So it's a little like doing stand-up when half the crowd only speaks Mandarin. After all the hearings, the percentage of Americans who thought Trump did nothing wrong went up 3 points. That's America now. It's like trying to win an argument in a marriage. Even when you're right, it still gets you nothing. Santos is the newly elected Republican House member from Long Island who Pinocchio'd his way into Congress and who represents a growing segment of American society, liars. If you're sort of hazy on the details of Santos's life, don't worry, so is he. When they film his biography, it'll start with, based on a false story. This guy lied about his schooling, his career, his sexuality, his charity work. What kind of family raises a person like this? We don't know because he lied about them, too. He lies like a goose shits. If he's not doing it at the very moment, he's about to. He said he attended the prestigious Horace Mann Prep School. They have no record of him, nor does NYU, where he said he got an MBA, or Baruch College, where he falsely claimed to have graduated in the top 1% of his class and starred on the volleyball team. I would say you can't make this shit up, but he just made this shit up. And it raises a lot of questions, starting with, if you're gonna lie, why volleyball? He also claimed he ran an animal charity that neutered 3,000 stray cats. He didn't, but again, what a strange thing to brag about. He literally lied about cutting off cats' nuts, and that takes a lot of balls. Ben Franklin said our country was a republic if you can keep it. Well, we can't. And unless a miracle happens on Tuesday, we didn't. Democracy is on the ballot, and unfortunately, it's going to lose. And once it's gone, it's gone. It's not something you can change your mind about in reverse. That's gender. So here's what's going to happen. Republicans will take control of Congress, and next year they'll begin impeaching Biden and never stop. They'll impeach him for getting out of Afghanistan and getting into Ukraine. For inflation, for recession, for falling off his bike, it won't matter and it won't make sense. But Biden will be a crippled duck when he goes up against the 2024 Trump Carrie Lake ticket.
He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag.
Go to North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him, they don't fear him, they have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
Move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Now, I'm on those drugs. Let me just say, after watching tonight.
Haifa is just not, I mean, anyway, I just, look what we did recently when Israel was attacked. Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one. The fact is that the consideration is that I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. Cicadas. I just got one. It got me.
Look at what happened.
Let me get my shoes on.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Let me get my shoes. Okay, my shoes down.
Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
To overthrow American democracy. We had a long montage all teed up to remind you how awful things were the first time, but you guys remember, and it was a huge bummer. But you remember when we were constantly immersed in crisis after crisis, and our nervous systems were perpetually overwhelmed by a never-ending cascade of catastrophes and cataclysms, and the president was the biggest, loudest weirdo on the planet. And I'm sorry, I don't care if he won. He's still so weird. I mean, why does he stand like that? Why? He looks like a snake who swallowed an antelope. Once again, this snake's eyes were bigger than its stomach.
We had a great first term, a great first term.
Yeah, who didn't love waiting hours to get a swab shoved up to your brain so you could go to the unemployment office to beg for a check and then come home and wipe your ass with your mail because the store was out of toilet paper? Yeah, Trump's back, baby! All the Republicans you see celebrating today, they all wanted off the Trump train back then, too.
There's no question, none, that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day.
We need to acknowledge he let us down. He went down the path he shouldn't have, and we shouldn't have followed him, and we shouldn't have listened to him, and we cannot let that happen again.
Trump and I, we've had a hell of a journey. I hate it being this way. Oh my God, I hate it. But today, first thing you'll see. All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough.
Count me out unless he wins, then count me right back in. You hear that, Meemaw? The man just about destroyed democracy, but I'd still rather be with him than spend another night sanitizing your CPAP, you old warthog. If RFK Jr. becomes the health secretary, does that mean his brain worm will become assistant secretary? Ooh, will the worm give press conferences? Tiny little podium on the top of RFK's head?
I was president, and now it looks like I was going to be maybe president again, so I figured I could ask him to hold. And especially because you're going to be president again, they hold. So I took the phone down, and I'm looking at the screen. I'm seeing this crazy thing that's going around and coming down. It looks like it's going to crash into the gantry. And I said, oh, no. And I said, do me a favor, do you mind holding for a couple of minutes? I want to see this. I thought it was a space-age movie or something. I put the phone down, bad part. I didn't pick it up for 45 minutes, and he was holding.
He was one of the most powerful men in the country, and you left him on hold for 45 minutes? Who was it? Oh, God. Oh. I mean, he probably didn't even notice he was on hold. So anyways, one day, scram pool drains. Clark, leaves, have some fun hold music.
Please hold for the next available president-elect.
Oh, great. Now